We picked up this Ezgo all the way from Largo, Florida, and it's here to get the Liberty Touch. So let's do a little breakdown of what we got to work with and what we're gonna do. We got the match made in heaven. We got our Bolt Big Papa 72 volt with an Avitas AC system. But the only problem when you run this combo is that everyone wants to ride with you. We only got 4 seats. So what are we gonna do? Chop it in half. We're extending this cart too. We're gonna make it a 6-passenger so that everybody and their mama can ride on this rig. So we're gonna take it for a little test drive to see what we're working with, and then we're gonna bring it back to the shop, and then we're gonna strip it down and get started on this build. Oh my God, oh my God. That was one of his complaints, was that the cart sways really bad. So we're gonna go ahead. We have a 7-inch ropes BMF lift. That's all I'm going on this rig. I'm not going past that. We did a little adjustment on here before, but we're changing all of this stuff. That's the reason that we were doing a little wheelie. We gotta make sure wheelies. We gotta make sure wheelies. We stripped the cart down, and now we're getting ready to do our stretch kit. First things first, turn off our floor pan and Fred Flintstone mod. Now we're gonna go ahead and finish removing this brake setup. Boom, 20 years later. All right, throttle sensor moved out of the way. We have to mark 6 inches from our center bar over. We're gonna be cutting this bar, not touching the pedal box setup. We're gonna be cutting this bar as well, this bar, and this bar. It's pretty much everything besides this. Feeling unfocused? Well, get yourself focused like a nerd. Yep. Triple checked, 6 inches on each bar, and we're perfect on all of them, so we're gonna cut it now. This is always like the most nerve-wracking part, every time. So we just had to go ahead and take half of his cart.
Half of his cart.
50% deposit, so he's getting 50% back.
Yep.
Chop it in half. Boom. Chopped up. So we got the cart cut. Now we're gonna get our new frame rails slid in and marked, and then we're gonna drill out the holes for that. And we're cooking. We're cooking along on this. So I'm glad we checked this. Every time we cut the frame on the club cars, sometimes where they tell you to cut isn't always perfect, or if the drill where they want you to drill, the measurements always aren't perfect either. So on these, they want you to mark 1 inch from where the frame extension goes and 4 inch, which is where our paint marker lines are. But when we just double check this just to make sure, so when we threw our frame rails on there to kind of tell, you noticed that the measurements that they told us don't quite line up perfect, and our little pilot holes from the drill bit are where the holes actually sit. So that's a little hack if you guys are doing this. Just double check that, that's a way to do it. Obviously make sure your frame rail is front and center too. On these kits, the 3 holes are more towards the back of the cart, and this extra space goes towards the front. And then the 2 holes, you see how they're staggered, the 2 holes that are even go on the top. So like I said, measurements were 1 and 4 inches. The front one is kind of close to 1 inch, but the back one's like 1 inch off. So just double check it before you drill it. So we got to remove this majigger off this majigger and put a new majigger in. It's gonna be How you do that? How you do that, Jiggle? Bobby.
Black option.
We're going solo on the cam. All right, I fucked up. This support bar that goes in the center, it goes a certain way. Throttle box or pedal box has to be able to bolt back into these 2 holes, and I had it swapped this way. Very easy to confuse it, but something that you can take note of before you guys do it. Yeah, make sure it's the right way so that this can bolt back onto this. Their issue, brother. You reuse the factory bolts from the pedal box, but on the old one, it had a threaded hole that it screws into, and this one, it's just a normal hole. So you need to get new nuts and bolts for that. So if you ever got a bolt battery, they come with these mounting bolts. Save those when you take them off the crate, because we use them for everything. Yeah, got the bolt battery. We got all this fitted up, and we're gonna let Joe weld it. Joe weld it? You don't have to weld this, but we're just gonna do it. The Ezgo is extendo frame mode. That's gonna wrap it up for this video today. It's Friday night. I'm going home. I'm gonna enjoy my weekend. We had a long week, and we have an even longer week ahead of us next week. Finishing up some of the stuff on here. We're gonna be running our audio system. We're doing our body kit. We're gonna address some things that we found that we want to take care of while it's apart. So that wraps up this video. Stay tuned for the next one.